Welcome to the deep dive. We take your chosen sources, dive deep, and pull out the key insights, basically cutting through the noise so you can get truly well informed. Today, we're doing something a bit different. We're looking at leadership, but through these, well, ancient stories that still hit home today.
Yeah, our deep dive is based on parts of a text called The Rise, Rule, and Responsibilities of a Righteous Leader. And it's not your typical business book. It uses these really dramatic stories, figures like Samson, Jeremiah, even John the Baptist, to explore timeless ideas about purpose, the challenges, and finding your way back.
Right. And our mission for you listening in is to really unpack what leadership means. We're talking about understanding your purpose, sure, but also how you navigate the tough stuff. And maybe most importantly, how you find restoration and keep making an impact. We'll dig into the spiritual side, the practical side, and hopefully help you connect these old lessons to, your own life, whatever that looks like. Exactly. So get ready. We might uncover some surprising things about, well, people and guidance. It's kind of a shortcut to understanding what it takes to rise up, rule yourself, and stay righteous. Okay, let's get into it. So imagine asking yourself that big question, why am I really here? The source material starts right there. It pushes us to reflect. And it brings up this fascinating idea that some people are almost predestined for a specific task, like Samson. His birth was foretold. The text says it was because basically no one else in Israel was suitable for the job of dealing with the Philistines. God needed someone new, built for that purpose.
And what's really profound there is that concept, preordained assignments. The text quotes Jeremiah, before I formed thee, I knew thee, I ordained thee a prophet. But here's the key thing. The source argues this isn't just for ancient prophets. It suggests this applies to, well, potentially everyone with a purpose. It says, there are things God has ordained for you to do that others before you could not accomplish. It kind of blows past the idea of human limits, right? Saying human limitations do not hinder God's ordination. So maybe your unique background, even things you see as flaws, are exactly what's needed.
That idea is, wow, that you might be uniquely equipped. But it's more than just knowing it, isn't it? It's about living it out. The source pushes us. Does this lead to the fulfillment of the reason for which I was born? Tough question. Are my choices actually lining up with that core purpose, or am I just drifting? Now, when someone is called like this, often there are specific guidelines, like a user manual for their life. Samson, from birth, was a Nazirite, and that meant strict rules, no wine, avoid unclean things, and crucially, no razor on his head. This wasn't temporary. It was from the womb to the day of his death. Total dedication.
Yeah, and that points to a core principle the text highlights. Anyone called to serve needs to live by certain ordained rules. Separated from uncleanness, totally devoted. Think of it as non-negotiables, integrity, discipline, not just for a little while, but the whole journey from new birth to the point of death. It's about being ready, being a vessel unto honor, prepared unto every good work. And that's not abstract. It means being practically ready for things like, preaching, counseling, organizing, leading people, restoring them, training others, being useful.
Okay, so you have the purpose, you have the rules, but where does the actual power come from to do all this heavy lifting? For Samson, the text is clear. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move him. That was the secret sauce, not just muscles.
Exactly. This is the divine empowerment piece. The source says the Lord promises supernatural empowerment, like the disciples waiting for power in Acts. Samson had physical power, obviously, but the text says God also gives mental power, knowledge, insight, spiritual power gifts, and victorious power overcoming stuff. The ultimate source is the Spirit of God. That's what guarantees success, even when things look impossible.
Okay, now here's where it gets really, really interesting. The focus shifts to something critical. Restraint, self-discipline. It quotes Proverbs. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. Wow, ruling yourself is harder than conquering a city.
It really is, and that highlights this crucial point. Victory outside begins with victory within. It's almost counterintuitive. You can't truly win externally if you haven't mastered yourself internally. Your impulses, your anger, your desires. The idea that conquering the flesh is essential before conquering nations, that's a powerful check for anyone leading anything. Your first battleground is inside.
And Samson. Well, his story becomes a cautionary tale right here. He wants to marry a Philistine woman. His parents object strongly, but he just says, get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. Self-will, pure and simple. But what's also striking is his parents. They knew better, the text implies, but they went along with it. They compromised.
And that raises a really uncomfortable question for all of us, doesn't it? What happens when we or people around a leader bend the rules? Compromise on what we know is right. just for preference, or maybe convenience. The text gives examples. A husband okaying something wrong, a mother enabling, even a pastor preaching truth. But then, and just smiling and letting people do whatever. It's a warning against supporting what you know isn't right. The source even hints, maybe if his parents had just said no, flat out refused, maybe Samson would rethought things. It shows how our actions ripple out.
And this path of compromise leads straight to Delilah, the famous story. But the source says, look deeper than just blaming her. The real lesson is Samson's incredible lack of discernment. She keeps asking for his secret again and again, and he never seems to question her motives. Not really. He just walks into it.
Exactly. And this is where that critical thinking, that spiritual perception is just vital. The source warns straight up. Sometimes the people around are not after what you have, but are determined to make you unstable, weakened, and deprived of your strength. They want to neutralize you. Samson had the power, right? The might. But he lacked the spirit of revelation, that ability to see through things, to discern true intentions. It makes you ask, doesn't it? When you're interacting with people, especially those pushing you, flattering you, have you stopped to really think, what's their goal here? Are you blinded by the surface? The ancient warning is, lust not after her beauty, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. Guard your perspective.
Then there's this other aspect, Samson's radical independence. The text describes him as living without companions, without subordinates, without anyone he was responsible to. Always alone, secretive, total isolation. And this lack of accountability, it says, paved the way for the Delilah disaster. Such independence leads to destruction. It's like that saying, absolute power corrupts. But here, maybe absolute independence just disintegrates.
That's a great way to put it. It's a huge lesson on accountability. The text shows Delilah betraying him losing his strength. But the real gut punch, he wist not that the Lord was departed from him. He didn't even realize the power source was gone. He'd gotten so used to it, so arrogant maybe, he assumed it would always be there no matter what he did. It shows the ruin of one who plays with sin, neglects accountability, and treats divine power like it's automatic. It's a warning against that kind of fatal presumption.
And the source lists exactly what he lost. It's brutal when you see it laid out. His symbolic sign, the hair, his mark as a Nazarite, gone. His strength, that incredible power, vanished. His sight and insight literally blinded, but also spiritually blind. Lost. His status and stature from hero to, well, a joke. Humiliated. His significance no longer valued for his divine gift, just captured. His safety and security imprisoned, enslaved, totally vulnerable. And the big one, the Spirit of the Lord upon his life, departed.
That list, it's heavy. And it serves as this stark reminder, for anyone really, before entering into any venture or interaction, consider what might be lost. Whether it's dealing with people trying to exploit you or maybe even envious people close to you who want to tear you down. It's a call to protect your core, your purpose, your integrity. Protect it fiercely.
But, and this is crucial, the story doesn't end in total despair. The deep dive shifts here towards hope, towards restoration. The source actually encourages us. Think of the greatest heights we have ever reached in faith and strength. Remember that feeling and then pray purposefully to be restored to that level. Not just okay, but back to full power, like the Psalms talking about the day of thy power.
Yes, and the text argues that now, under what it calls a better covenant, there's even more potential for recovery than Samson had. Samson thought his blindness was it. Game over. His final prayer was about revenge, really. But the source says no. If sight is gone, it can be restored. If insight is gone, it can be regained. It's about faith and recovery. Don't just accept the loss. Don't resign yourself. Believe recovery is possible. The text assures your sight, your insight await you. The mighty spirit and power await you. It means believing that real, deep recovery, vision, wisdom, strength, it's actually expected no matter how bad the fall was.
Samson's last words were, "Let me die with the Philistines," a prayer from rock bottom. But the source challenges that whole mindset. It basically says, refuse that. Don't accept defeat or death as the end. Declare boldly, I will not die with the Philistines. Reject ending up as just a failure, a spectacle.
Exactly. This last part really emphasizes, whatever you lost, the Lord can reverse it. It's an assurance that you will live, you shall overcome, and declare the works of the Lord. It brings it all back to purpose, to be fully surrendered to God and to live responsibly in his kingdom. It's a call to reject ending up in some prison or theater of mockery. Stand firm. Believe your purpose is to thrive, overcome, contribute, even after messing up badly. There's a kind of divine resilience available if you choose to re-engage.
Wow. What an incredible arc. From divine calling and all that preparation through the absolute necessity of self-control, discernment, and then seeing the hard consequences of compromise, of going it alone, it's a lot. Inspiring potential, but some serious warnings too.
Absolutely. And ultimately, it keeps circling back to the power of purpose, the importance of living by principles, not just knowing them. And crucially, that possibility of restoration. Even after huge losses, it really pushes us, doesn't it, to look at our own actions, check people's motives, and never underestimate the need for accountability. It's ancient stuff, but apply it today. It's a powerful guide.
So as you think about all this, here's something to maybe chew on. If that quote is right, if victory outside begins with victory within, what's the inner battle you're being called to win right now? Not just for your own sake, but maybe for the assignments, the people waiting for you to step up. Maybe winning that internal fight is the key to unlocking everything else. Well, thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. Until next time, keep exploring these ideas, keep asking questions, and yeah, keep growing into the leader you're truly meant to be.